If you have a recurring revenue business, there's one number that you absolutely need to be tracking. So you can imagine my shock when I was reading a recent study that revealed over half of membership site owners don't know this metric. I'm going to show you exactly how to track it on the back of a napkin and reveal why it is such an important metric to know. I was recently reading a membership benchmark report that had a lot of metrics about membership site owners and their programs. And there was one metric that I was reading that stopped me in my tracks. What this said is that over half of membership site owners are not tracking one of the most important metrics in their business. Now, how on earth you can have a membership site without tracking this one metric is beyond me. But I know that you are going to want to track this because you have a CEO mindset and you understand the importance of knowing your numbers, because you know that knowing your numbers is how you determine where to invest your time and your money for the highest return on investment. So let's talk about this metric. It's retention rate. Now, what is retention rate? Retention rate is understanding how many people are staying inside of your membership month after month. So if you have 10 people leave your membership every month or 500 people leave your membership every month, what retention rate is that? This is really important because your retention rate determines the lifetime value of your customer. And it's also going to tell you how fast you need to be adding people to your membership if you want to sustain or grow your membership over time. But so few people are tracking it. And here's the deal. It's really not that complicated to track. So this is going to be a super short episode because all I want to do is tell you exactly how to track your retention rate. So grab a pen and a piece of paper or a napkin because I'm about to share with you a simple formula for tracking your retention rate. You can do this with or without a calculator. My husband is a retired math teacher, so he prides himself in figuring out numbers like this without a calculator, but I always pull out the calculator on my phone. Okay, here we go. Here's the simple formula for tracking retention. Okay, you're going to do E minus N divided by S times 100. E minus N divided by S times 100. What do these mean? Well, E is the end of the month. How many members do you have in your program at the end of the month? So let's say it's May 31st. At the end of the day on May 31st, how many members do you have inside of your program? N stands for the number of new members that you have gained that particular month. So how many new members did you add to your program in the month of May? So once you figure out the number of members at the end of the month minus the number of new members, you're going to divide that number by the number of members you had at the start of the month. Okay, May 1, bright and early in the morning, before you ever enrolled anybody, how many members did you have on May 1st at 12:01 a.m.? That's your start of the month number. So you have number of members at the end of the month. You're subtracting out all the new members that have come because remember, that's not retaining them from April to May. If they weren't in the program in April, we don't need to be factoring them into your retention number in May. Okay, they'll get factored into your retention number in June. So your number of members at the end of the month minus your new members, and then you're going to divide that by the number of members at the start of the month. That is going to give you a decimal point that you will multiply times 100 to turn it into a percentage, and voila, there you have your retention rate. So let's just use some basic numbers to give you an example. Let's take 110 as the number of members at the end of the month. So the end of the month, May 31st, you look at your statistics and you see that you have 110 members. And then let's say that you gained 20 new members in the month of May. Maybe you did a little flash sale email or something to get people in, but you gained 20 new members in the month of May. We're going to do 110 minus 20. That gives us 90. Okay. And then let's say we started with 100 members at the start of the month in May. So April ended and May started with 100 members. So we're going to take 90. We're going to divide that by 100, which gives us 0.9. When we multiply that times 100, that gives us 90% retention rate. So what does that mean? That means that each and every month you're keeping 90% of your members, at least for that month, right? At least from April to May, you kept 90% of your members. What that also means is you lost 10%. So for every 10 people that came in the door, one person walked out, 9 people stayed. But if you do that over and over and over again, eventually you have no members left. That is why retention rate is such an important number, because you know how hard it is to get new members. And so when you think about the fact that every time you get new members, if you get 100 new members, you're only going to keep 90 of them, and then 10 of them are going to walk out the door. And then the same thing is going to happen month after month after month. You're going to have these people walking out the door. Then you better believe you're going to start paying attention to this number. So there is no excuse anymore for not knowing your retention rates. I'm speaking to the 56% of you in this survey who said you don't know and don't track your retention rate. I don't ever want to hear that again. If you have a recurring revenue business, you need to know this number. Hey friend, if this formula feels a little complicated, or if you like taking the shortcut, you'll want to access my membership metrics calculator for free. This calculator will not only allow you to calculate your retention rate, but you'll discover 7 other important membership metrics, including the lifetime value of each and every member in your program. If you want to access this free calculator, go to memberltv.com. That's memberltv.com, and you can get this calculator for free. All right, back to the episode. And so we're going to do this formula just one more time. It's the number of members at the end of the month minus the number of new members you got that month. Take that, divide it by the number of members at the start of the month, multiply it times 100, and there you have your retention rate. And remember, this is so important because retention rate, as your retention rate increases, it has an exponential effect on the revenue and profitability inside of your membership program. So if this is the first time you're going to be tracking your retention rate, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to send me a DM on Instagram at Shana Speaks, Shana Speaks, and let me know what your retention rate is once you track it.